Hello friends, I have a strategy exercise to share with you. In this position, white has just played c4 to c5. They attacked our bishop, and I would like you to pause the video and think what would you play in this position if you were given the black pieces. I think many of you thought of retreating with the bishop to c7 or b8 to simply maintain the bishop as a very active piece on this long diagonal. Perhaps you have even dreams of combining it with the queen and building the so-called battery to attack the white's king in some distant future. However, this just gives white a very good position. White can play something like b5 and win space. Your knight can go to e5, but then it will get attacked while white is hitting it with developing moves. Now, whether black goes knight g6 or knight takes f3, the consequences are going to be similar. For instance, knight takes, and this middle game is something that white finds very easy to play. It's very clear that all three minor pieces of white's are good. We can play queen c2, rook c1, castle, and we always have this majority as a plan. And pushing c6 is, I guess, the first idea that comes to mind in the middle game after white finishes the development, and I think it's rather clear that white is just better. If I didn't convince you, please also take a look at the bishop on c8, a very bad piece that we have. If we go back, however, and we make the correct move for black, which is maybe slightly less natural for some of you, bishop to e7, then black is going to be the one that is better. We're maintaining the pressure on the white's queenside pawns, and it's really not clear how can white safely guard them all. At the moment, we have pressure against b4. Indirectly, there is also a pin along the a file, and it's a very hard decision that needs to be made for the white pieces. Let's take a look at the same move we tried against bishop b8, which is the move b5 and winning space. This time we're not intending to go towards the center, but we can go knight a7 or even knight b8 just to maintain the pressure on the pawns. Eating one of those pawns would give black an easy game in the middle game, even an endgame where we're pawn up. And if we were just to defend the pawn as white c5 is hanging with something like queen c2, we can simply increase the pressure easily with queen c7, and white is not able to maintain the pawn. For instance, knight b3, we can play a4, and c5 will drop. And if we look at alternatives after our move bishop to e7, for example, there is also a possibility of trying something like queen e4. It really always ends bad for white. For instance, here we have bishop to d7. Now we're threatening a discovered attack against the white's queen. And after b5, very similar consequences. Knight a7 and just pressure against the pawns. Right now the threats are bishop takes c5, we can even increase the pressure, and white grabbed more territory than they can handle. So I hope you enjoyed this strategy exercise. The correct move is bishop to e7. If you did enjoy the video, please do subscribe to my chess channel, and you can also consider hiring me as your personal chess coach. That's my full-time job at the moment. I work online. My contacts are on the right side of the screen. Stay safe, my friends, and continue loving and playing the game. See you in the next video.